2020 was crazy for Blu-ray releases. We got the complete Friday the 13th, we got Severin's staggering Al Adamson collection, we got Crash from both Criterion and better British Criterion, we got Gamera, we got Beastmaster, we got Dial Code Santa Claus, we got the greatest franchise of all time in 4K. Well, it was an upscale, but fuck you. We got everything you could possibly ask for, and yet there's still plenty more to want, isn't there? So originally, I planned on this being a pretty tight 10 film list, but out of curiosity, I asked folks on Twitter what their picks would be for most wanted blues in 2021, and fuck, a lot of people have needs. So yeah, the list ballooned, and so I semi-arbitrarily chose 15 out of the fuckload that either I'd already written down or that were recommended on Twitter. So let's dig into 15 movies that still need a Blu-ray release in the year of our Lord, 2021.
Come on, pussy. Oh yeah.
Number 1, Freddy Got Fingered. I love this movie, and I love everything that beautiful Canadian bastard Tom Green stands for. At the height of his popularity, which of course the mainstream struggled to understand in the moment, he trolled the Hollywood system before we'd ever even co-opted Under the Bridge Dwellers to describe what he was doing.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Genius. Simply genius. And yet somehow not on Blu-ray. Sure, the DVD is serviceable and easily bought used, but come on. We need to see that bone sticking out of that leg in 1080. Whew! Or 4K. And after I put this list together, I had 2 people tell me that they'd heard about a planned 2021 release. So, hoo boy, it's coming.
It's not a secret. Stop it, I'll tell you. I'll show you.
Next up, Josie and the Pussycats. I love Josie and the Pussycats, to the point where I'd been trying to write a video on it for months now, but man, I just got to get it right. Because this movie, like Freddy Got Fingered, was both way ahead of its time and a total blast. It's literally one of my favorite films. Features some wonderful jokes about consumerism and tons of excessively early 2000s production design and hairstyles that would look phenomenal in the highest possible definition. If you haven't seen it because you're not interested in some teeny bopper live-action version of the classic cartoon, just trust me, it's next level, and it features a god-tier camp performance from indie icon Parker Posey.
Don't ignore me, 'cause you know I'm Fiona. Welcome to your party.
Anywho, once Universal gets its shit together and releases this sucker, maybe we can get a nice 4K of Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion from Disney with some actual goddamn extras.
You don't dig it, you can just split.
The Unholy Rollers. This is actually one of the few movies I ever bought as a bootleg way back during my very first Dragon Con. It's one of the only bootlegs I own. This one, actually. What a piece of... Oh my god, it's missing. It's gotten away! Somebody! For the Vinegar Syndrome fans in the audience, Unholy Rollers was written and directed by Vernon Zimmerman, who also gave us Fade to Black and wrote another great film that's already gotten its due on Blue, Teen Witch. In addition to all that, this is a roller derby film from 1972, stars Gator Bait's very own Claudia Jennings, and according to some trivia I'm not going to bother verifying, it was also Martin Scorsese's first job as an editor. This film is history, people. Come on!
Well, in that case, you girls are gonna be needing this.
Sorority House Massacre 2 / Hard to Die. Orville Ketchum. What else do I need to say? I literally have merch in the store, conveniently linked down below, in reference to these 2 masterful films. For those unaware, Sorority House Massacre 2 was directed by B-movie legend Jim Wynorski in 7 days, while Roger and Julie Corman were on vacation, and Roger was so impressed that he financed a sequel entitled Hard to Die, also called Sorority House Massacre 4, which is basically also a remake of sorts. The films have nothing to do with Sorority House Massacre, and the first of them was shot on stages built for Slumber Party Massacre 2 and used footage from the first Slumber Party Massacre. Again, this is Sorority House Massacre It's a bit confusing, but the important thing to remember is that they contain Orville Ketchum, aka the greatest character to ever grace cinema. And damn it, he deserves better. Now, I'm pretty sure Shout Factory is the one holding us back on this release, so if I don't see these flicks on Blue before Memoirs of an Invisible Man gets a 4K UHD, I'm gonna cut a bitch.
Amen.
The Devils, one of Ken Russell's most controversial movies, which is certainly saying something. The Devils also happens to be another film on this list that I regularly cite as one of my favorites. I even got to watch an uncut version in Asheville courtesy of Ken's widow, and it was fucking great. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers is a real cock sandwich with this release. The 109-minute US cut has been available on Shudder and the Criterion channel, but there's also an 11-minute UK cut and a 117-minute extended cut that are sadly unavailable. Although I might have fucked something up there. I don't know. It's a whole goddamn mess. Anyway, this isn't a Devil's history lesson, so point being, hey Warner Brothers, release The Devils on 4K, you filthy bitch.
Revolt! Revolt, you thick-skulled idiots! You have carried heavy burdens for the bosses. You have sweat your lives away for the bosses.
Fritz the Cat. This is Fritz the Cat. He's my cat. Oh, God, he's so fat. Oh, and he's so sharp. Oh, he's so sharp. Oh, God, this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. Oh, God. Ah, he got my leg. He got my leg. Ah, Jesus. Ah, that was a mistake. I really love the Ralph Bakshi movie, Fritz the Cat, and I want both it and its sequel, The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat, on Blu-ray. Oh, God, that cat is so sharp. Especially since we already have Heavy Traffic, Wizards, Fire and Ice, and, well, not nearly enough Bakshi, in my opinion. There is a German release of Coonskin that's apparently pretty good, but that one, if I understand it right, is down to some brave soul getting old Bill Ruddy properly sloshed within 5 feet of a distribution deal. Anyway, I'd love to see all of Bakshi on Blue, but Fritz the Cat is the one I'd really like to happen this year. Also American Pop. Look, we just need a box set, okay?
Sorry, Doctor, but I'll wager this boy has a temperature of at least 104.
How much would you like to wager?
How about a wool sweater? It gets cold sitting here naked all the time.
Pin. Yo, I can't watch this fucker on YouTube forever, you dig? I have no idea what the situation is regarding Pin's rights, but this 1988 horror masterpiece, I fucking said it, needs a damn Blu-ray edition. It's the story of a boy and his father's anatomically correct medical dummy, voiced by Jonathan Banks. Come on, Jonathan Banks, medical dummy, penis.
It's a bet.
Oh, and it's a relatively bloodless affair and a perfect teaching tool when it comes to creating tense, horrifying moments without opening up too many bottles of Karo syrup.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Peter Jackson's early years box set. This one is heavily rumored to be coming from Arrow, and we know that Jackson has been working on restorations of his early work. So here's hoping we get Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, and Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, on Blu-ray sometime in 2021. They are gore classics, after all. We're already getting The Frighteners on 4K from Arrow, so it would only make sense to supplement that release with a sexy box set. Maybe we could even get Heavenly Creatures. Who knows?
All my life, I seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Demon Warp. Alien Bigfoot. I've never actually seen this George Kennedy starring sci-fi horror thing, but I am very intrigued to watch it. It's directed by New Year's Evil's Emmett Alston, with a story by John Carl Buechler, who also provides a delightfully cuddly Bigfoot design. So this is, an interesting one. It's apparently one of those flicks with a lot of wandering around the woods, but
I got all your sound equipment, your long-range listening devices, your motion detectors, and a bunch of other electrical shit I'm still trying to figure out.
Yes, good. Pink Floyd's The Wall. There is an HD transfer of this film that is available through more illicit means, and which has been shown on TV. So why someone hasn't released a damn Blu-ray is it's almost beyond me. I say almost because after some cursory research, it seems like there's a few issues at play regarding rights with Sony and whoever the hell owns Pink Floyd's catalog. I think it's Warner, probably, so Warner Media. Either way, it's unfortunate. The Wall features some damn iconic music that would really benefit from some extra room on that Blu-ray disc, trippy animation by Gerald Scarfe, and gorgeous cinematography by Peter Bizu? I don't know how to say his name. I don't know, but he's very good at his job. He actually shot 1995's absolutely wild version of Richard III, which starred Ian McKellen. And that did get a release from Twilight Time. That's a bit pricey now. So as a side note, I'd love to see a new edition of that film as well for the stateside market. Anyway, tangents aside, a Blu-ray release for The Wall is long overdue. So get your shit together, corporate overlords, and get me that fucking rock opera. The Keep. This one is a long shot. For those unaware, The Keep is Michael Mann's bewildering atmospheric 1983 World War II horror flick about a bunch of Nazis who uncover a life force sucking demon guy thing. There's a lot we could dig into, but there's a whole fucking documentary on it, and the cult following is pretty impressive for a movie that's really excessively flawed, but also pretty fucking cool. Unfortunately, this one's held up reportedly by music rights, as well as Michael Mann disowning the film, which, doesn't help. The source novel's author, F. Paul Wilson, doesn't exactly care for it either, so there's not a whole lot of push from the creators for a Blu-ray. The Keep has previously been available on VHS and Laserdisc, plus an okay DVD release from Australian distributor Viavision last year. So really, it's possible, just unlikely. According to Pizzow's video on that release, Viavision didn't have proper high-def elements to work with, hence the DVD in lieu of the Blue, which is pretty unfortunate. Either way, someone needs to figure out that sweet, sweet 4K goodness. Then we can all be confused in ultra high def.
Is this room smaller than it should be?
You're the first person to notice.
Panic Room. I was going to keep this to more cult items, but then at Fry Guy Y mentioned Panic Room in the Twitter thread, and of course, I immediately went to Blu-ray.com to check out when that Blue had come out, knowing full well he had to be mistaken, and nope. David Fincher's Panic Room is somehow the lone remnant of his filmography to not get the Blu-ray treatment. What the fuck? Side note, I'd also love to see a 4K collection of Fincher's extensive music videos and shorts work, although I imagine that sort of thing is probably the ultimate rights nightmare. Boy can dream. YouTube playlist it is. The Seventh Curse, and everything else by Lam Nai-Choi. Full disclosure. Seventh Curse and Rikyo are the only Nai-Choi films I've watched, but they are sick as hell, and I'd love to see more of his work, preferably on Blu-ray or 4K. Get on it, Arrow. I'm honestly shocked more of his work isn't available on stateside Blu-ray outside of that gross Rikyo release from Tokyo Shock. The Seventh Curse is a lush, fun film with some great performances, including from the one and only Chow Yun-fat, who's hilarious. If you've seen the nut bar insanity that is Rikyo, just imagine a slightly toned-down version of that brand of crazy. Emphasis on slightly. You know what? Maybe Rikyo is the toned-down one.
Sir, I am going to give you some medicine that is still very experimental. It's from NASA.
What's the matter?
I said I want to see a plaster of Paris bagel and cream cheese paperweight. Now cough it up.
After Hours and or Bringing Out the Dead. This one's a cheat, but I gotta ask, how the fuck does this even happen? How do two of the best Martin Scorsese films still not have Blu-rays? I have no idea. I'm sure there's a reason, but what? He's Martin fucking Scorsese, and these are, and I'm sure I'll get some blowback for this, two of his best movies, especially After Hours. After Hours is one of my favorite goddamn films of all time. Stop dropping the fucking ball, studios. Jesus. That's right, Warner Brothers, Paramount. I'm calling you on your shit. Get to work, you lazy fucks. Contraband and Massacre Time. For our last entry, I'm going to cheat again. We're almost definitely getting new Gladiators from Severin this year, so that only leaves a handful of post-comedies Lucio Fulci left for physical release. As such, I would love to see Contraband and Massacre Time round out the releases, and maybe eventually we can get around to those latter-day TV releases. Voices from Beyond and The Sweet House of Horrors have okay DVDs. Door to Silence got a now out-of-print DVD release from Severin, and House of Clocks is currently going for scalper prices. So, all of them could really use the upgrade to Blue. Contraband is probably Fulci's most lauded film not yet on the format, with DVD releases from Blue Underground and Shameless. Similarly, Massacre Time, aka The Brute and the Beast, has gotten a few serviceable low-rent DVD releases, but sadly nothing high definition. Frankly, a Fulci spaghetti western deserves better. And that's it! What movies do you want to see get a Blu-ray release in 2021? Should I do more videos like this? Am I too fat? Comment below, like this video, give me money, and of course, go watch a movie. The Blu-ray.